Okay, do we have any? Shaun has a get it off your chest.
No, he doesn't. I don't have a get it off my chest.
Camping with Shaun, it says.
Who's get it off your chest?
Mine.
What happened?
Memorial Day weekend, we went camping in Ohio with people from my work. Mm-hmm. I'm not a camper. I'm not a glamper. I'm a hotel kind of girl, but we made it work. Mm-hmm. Get to our campsite, which is in a barn.
Yeah, we'll just call it a barn. It's an old, 1930s store that they turned into a barn.
We put our tent inside of. It happened. Yeah. The first night was fine. The second night was a little colder. Hannah woke up, didn't feel good, was getting sick, shivering. The order of the sleeping bags on the air mattresses was Hannah, me, Shaun. The heater was at Shaun's feet. Mm-hmm. We all had a top sheet and a sleeping bag. Well, Hannah was shivering, so I said, why don't you move to my spot closer to the heater? And I'm going to give you my sleeping bag. And I'm going to close this little partition in the tent to keep all the heat in.
I get it.
I don't.
So,
you got a heater inside of a tent and you're closing the ventilation?
No, I didn't kill anybody.
Oh, good. You didn't die.
Yeah. No, I didn't die.
Shaun, glad you're here.
So I'm outside of the heat without my sleeping bag. My strong husband, manly man. Mm-hmm. Unless you've seen him play softball, then sorry, I had
Too soon.
Too soon.
That hurt a little.
So did your ERA, but anyway, he takes his sleeping bag and is like, "You good? All right, cool," and rolls over right next to the heater.
It's like I'm a little toasty.
He's like warm, and leaves me out in the cold part of the tent with a sheet and a hoodie. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My husband, ladies and gentlemen.
Your face is red.
That's what y'all wanted. That's what you feminists wanted.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. I just like y'all to know I slept pretty good that night.
Did you stop shivering, Ann?
Yeah. I think my teeth chattering kept him awake for a while.
I can't sleep for all your chattering teeth. So you got what you're getting off your chest is Shaun's lack of chivalry.
That's what I'm getting off my chest. Yeah.
Way to go, Shaun. Somebody said once that you were the most romantic layman. They bet on you being the most romantic layman.
It was Kristen Dellinger. It wasn't me. But after she said that, I did get flowers that Valentine's Day.
That one time on a holiday, I got flowers.
That one time.
Remember that one time?
Mm-hmm. I'm still picturing just camping out in a barn. I was roughing it.
It was raining. It was raining when we got there, so
Well, I'm glad you got that off your chest, man. You've been carrying that weight around. It sounds like you've been carrying the dead weight of Shaun around too, with this lack of chivalry.
You have no idea.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is a segment that I don't know anything about. So, Shaun, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
So this is called History Class with Shaun.
Okay.
I might do this periodically, but we are we're going to talk about a deep subject. But what brought this subject up in basically the conversation around politics for the last 2 weeks was a horrible event in Uvalde, Texas.
Yeah.
We all know about it. But there's a conversation going on about we're comparing the United States to Canada. We're comparing the United States to Great Britain and Denmark and other countries. And I want to say that this is not a fair argument. Okay. It's a fallacy to compare us to any other country, and I want to explain why. So in 1776, we were under British rule. We all know this. And we decided as a country that we were going to declare our independence. The Declaration of Independence is the foundational document of the United States. Okay, absolutely. Now you've had a civics class, right? So tell me if I'm wrong about that. It's the foundational. What happened after the Declaration of Independence? We went through about 6 years of war, and we finally in 1882, 81, we won.
17.
17. Yeah, we defeated the British. came to our country, and we wrote what's called the Articles of Confederation. Okay, this was supposed to be the binding argument, the binding document of the states. But the problem with it is it made that the federal government was too weak. It couldn't declare tax. It couldn't collect taxes. It couldn't have a standing army, and it just didn't work. So the Constitutional Convention got together and started meeting, and they created the Constitution. So, but the basis of the Constitution was the Declaration of Independence. So when they wrote the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, it had to be ratified by 9 states. Okay, and the last 2 states was Virginia and New York, and they were going back and forth and saying, "Hey, so this isn't right." And they said we need. So I'm gonna get into it. So here's what the foundation is. Here's what makes us different, and this is the second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and that are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving that their just powers from the consent of the governed. What that basically comes down to is that we have certain inalienable rights that is given to us not by our government, but by God. So when the Constitution was going around and being ratified by the states, they said, you need to define what these rights are. Mm-hmm. You said that we have these rights. It's given to us by God, define them. And they came up for the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. We call those a Bill of Rights. Mm-hmm. Those are, according to our foundation, God-given rights. Mm. So these are not rights given by the government, so therefore they cannot be taken by the government.
I like it.
And that's what makes us different. That's why you can't compare us to any other country, because any other country, rights are given by the governed. Mm. That's not what we stand on. So the First Amendment is just as important as the Second Amendment, is just as important as the Third, Fourth, Fifth, all the way down to the 10th. Because those are determined that they are given to us by God and not the government. The government's job is to protect those rights, not to give those rights.
Everybody concur? And all God's people said?
Amen.
Okay.
All right. That's a
history moment with Shaun. I like it. I like that segment. Keeping in that same vein, I think I want to have a little history set. Can I follow
Please
that up?
do.
Could I follow that up?
Please.
I think I will.
Please teach me something, Kemp.
We were in England. We had our family trip into London, England. Was great. Sightseeing. We saw some of the cultural icons. We saw London Tower. We saw Westminster Abbey. We saw.
You saw the globe. I saw the pictures.
Yeah. So we saw all that area. We went into Soho, the shopping district. We went all around, for the short time that we stayed. Great time. I recommend you go. It's a melting pot of culture. Everybody's there.
It could be one of the most diverse cities I've ever been to.
Man,
it really was.
There. The food, however,
Told you.
the cuisine of the English was hot garbage. Okay.
Once you have good fish and chips.
Garbage, is that fancy?
Yeah, it's fancy garbage.
Yeah.
Now, here's why I say this is a history lesson. Because as I was choking down, okay, I'm going to tell you, I ordered chicken wings. I had a platter of wings over there. I had wings and something else was on the plate, and I had this teriyaki spicy sweet sticky sauce. And then I had another little the metal cup dish that has this dipping sauce in it. It was white. I just looked at it and said, "Oh, great, ranch." Stuck my wing in that white sauce, put it in my mouth. It was sour cream.
Yep.
That's awful.
You're not going to find ranch in England. You're not going to find ranch anywhere else of the United States.
It's awful.
He goes to England, he's probably eating it like a Wild Wing Cafe. And it's like,
Well, I saw you at a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, we did either. London picked that out. My son, London, not the London, but London picked that out. But here's why I say this is a history lesson with Kemp. Because as I was choking down this plate full of mediocrity, I said to myself, I see now why Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492 from England.
Do you want to take this or should I?
This is
Anybody?
I informed him already.
it's a history lesson with Kemp. So I just want to piggyback off of your history moment and ruin it.
The more you know, people.
I don't think you've ever made me look more like a genius than you have.
I
at
mean,
this
you
point.
could have said this is why we revolted, but no, you went back
changed.
to Columbus.
I did change it.
I feel like you should be wearing London's cap and gown right now when you do your history lesson. And we should have the graduation music or something playing in the background.
We should do that. We should have these history moments with Kemp. or just like yeah. We'll do it. So that's my history moment. We revolted. And Christopher Columbus revolted from England.
So it's like enough of this.
Enough of this crappy food.
This English
And then
in England.
And then he sailed to the U.S. where there was all kinds of spices. Right?
That's probably right.
That's probably right.
That's probably right.
Do y'all really want to confuse that, Kemp?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's do it.
Kemp, where was Columbus from?
Spain.
No,
Where was he from?
that's where he sailed from. Mm-hmm. He was Italian,
Oh, he was Italian?
but the Italian government wouldn't send him, so he went to Spain.
You had to get
and
a
Spain
charter,
sent
right?
him.
You had to get a charter.
Yeah, he got a charter from Spain.
He would have figured that out.
I would
You'd
have. Yeah,
figured that out.
eventually.
Where
yeah.
did he actually land, Kemp?
I think you've been there. Maybe not. I don't
Somewhere in
think-
the Caribbean?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, somewhere in the Caribbean. I got that right.
Did you? No.
That's right?
You want to narrow it down just a little bit?
Bahamas.
No.
Stand by. I don't know.
We need the Jeopardy music on this board.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is a history lesson, and what you've gotten is Shaun's take on a very important matter, the Constitution, and Kemp's take on a very important matter. It's the founding fathers.
Shaun,
Christopher Columbus was not a founding.
I know he wasn't. Native Americans were.
Shaun gave you a history lesson, and Kemp gave you his truth.
You could have at least jumped on the all men are created equal when they had slaves thing.
That's exactly right. All men.
All men are created equal. Don't mind them.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Except for them.
You know what? Dave Chappelle has a joke about that. He said that's why we know a black man wrote that. We just slide that in there.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah. Okay, man.
Well, I know I feel smarter. Thank you,
absolutely.
Kemp.
You ought to.